Let's see.
Excuse me?
Linda Fiorentino.
There are many stories in Hollywood about stars who burned brightly and then disappeared without a trace, but few are as mysterious as Linda Fiorentino's. She wasn't just another actress chasing fame. She was a woman who stood out for her sharp intelligence, fearless energy, and striking screen presence. In the 1990s, she seemed unstoppable. From The Last Seduction to Men in Black, Linda captured audiences with a mix of strength and sensuality that no one could forget. Yet, just when her star should have been shining the brightest, she suddenly walked away from it all. For decades now, fans have wondered what happened to her. Was she pushed out? Did she choose to leave? And where did she go? Linda Fiorentino's story is not one of scandal or simple failure. It's a story about a woman who refused to play Hollywood's game and paid the price for it. Linda Fiorentino was born in 1958 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, into a large, hardworking Italian-American family. Her father worked as a steel contractor, often spending long hours welding metal to support his 8 children. Life wasn't glamorous, but it taught Linda the value of hard work and independence. She went to Catholic school, where her sharp tongue and quick wit sometimes got her into trouble. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, even to nuns, which showed her fiery personality from a young age. After high school, she attended Rosemont College, where she majored in political science and played basketball. Many people don't know that Linda didn't plan on becoming an actress. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer. But one acting class changed her life. Her professor saw something in her, a rare confidence and emotional depth, and encouraged her to take acting seriously. That small push led her to New York City after graduation, where she started chasing a new kind of dream. When Linda first arrived in New York, she had almost nothing. No money, no connections, and no clear path. She waited tables, worked in bars, and took any job she could find just to pay rent. Her early years were filled with rejection. She auditioned for commercials, small plays, and student films, often hearing the same thing. "You're too intense," or "You don't fit the part." But instead of changing herself to please others, Linda leaned into her uniqueness. She joined the circle in the Square Theater School, where she studied acting seriously and developed her own style, raw, emotional, and fearless. Her first real break came in 1985 when she starred in Vision Quest, playing Carla, a woman who helps a young wrestler find himself. The film wasn't a huge hit at the time, but Linda's performance was unforgettable. Critics noticed her strength and mystery. That same year, she appeared in Gotcha, an after-hours directed by Martin Scorsese. Suddenly, Hollywood started paying attention to the woman with the smoky voice and piercing eyes. By the early 1990s, Linda Fiorentino had built a solid reputation in the industry, but it was her performance in The Last Seduction, 1994, that made her a legend. Playing Bridget Gregory, a cold and calculating femme fatale, Linda delivered one of the boldest performances of the decade. She didn't just play a character, she owned the screen. Critics called her performance electric and dangerously intelligent. The film became a cult classic and even sparked debate about why she wasn't nominated for an Oscar. The reason? The film premiered on cable television before theaters, disqualifying her. Many people still believe it was one of the biggest injustices in film award history. After The Last Seduction, she starred in several high-profile films, including Jade, Men in Black, and Dogma. She worked with directors like Barry Sonnenfeld and Kevin Smith, proving she could handle action, comedy, and drama equally well. She was known for her sharp humor, her independence, and her unwillingness to be pushed around. Unlike many actresses of her time, Linda refused to play weak or silly roles. She wanted to portray women who were complex, intelligent, and real. But Hollywood doesn't always reward strong women who speak their minds. Behind the scenes, Linda gained a reputation for being difficult. She wasn't rude or unprofessional. She simply refused to play along with the politics and power games of the film industry. She once said in an interview, "If you tell the truth in this town, you become the problem." Over time, that reputation began to hurt her career. By the early 2000s, the roles offered to her grew fewer and smaller. Some studios found her intimidating, others claimed she was too selective. In truth, Linda just refused to compromise her integrity. There were also whispers about her clashes with certain producers, and her name became quietly blacklisted in some circles. After Where the Money Is, 2000, where she starred alongside Paul Newman, her appearances on screen became rare. Fans were confused. How could someone so talented simply vanish? But the answer lay not in scandal or failure, but in choice. Linda Fiorentino decided she was done. After stepping away from Hollywood, Linda retreated completely from public life. She didn't announce her retirement, give interviews, or appear at events. She simply disappeared. Some said she moved back to the East Coast, living quietly in New York or New Jersey. Others claimed she focused on photography, one of her longtime passions. There were even rumors of her working on screenplays or independent projects that never got released. Her silence only deepened her mystery. In an age where most celebrities chase fame and attention, Linda's complete withdrawal made her almost mythical. In later interviews, people who worked with her described her as private but kind, someone who loved deep conversations and hated gossip. She once said she didn't want to be famous, just respected for her work. And that's exactly how many fans still see her, as a talented artist who walked away before Hollywood could destroy her spirit. Of course, Linda's disappearance wasn't without rumors. In the mid-2000s, her name surfaced briefly in connection with a political controversy involving an FBI case. Some tabloids tried to link her to secret documents or scandals, but nothing concrete ever came of it. It seemed like yet another attempt to pull her back into the public eye against her will. Linda never publicly commented on those stories. Her refusal to explain or defend herself added to her mysterious image. Was she hiding something, or simply done with the nonsense of fame? Those who knew her best said Linda was never the type to chase attention or play the victim. She had a deep sense of privacy and hated the fake smiles of Hollywood. It's not hard to imagine her choosing peace and simplicity over red carpets and interviews. In a way, she became exactly what her most famous character, Bridget Gregory, could never be: free and invisible. Today, Linda Fiorentino is believed to live a quiet, artistic life far from Hollywood's chaos. She's said to spend time writing, painting, and taking photos. Some fans who've spotted her describe her as calm, happy, and private. She's reportedly involved in small charity work and still loves independent art. It's strange to think that one of the most magnetic actresses of the 1990s now lives completely off the grid. But that's part of her charm. Unlike many stars who fade and try to claw their way back, Linda seems content with her decision. She once said that fame is a trap. It gives you attention, but it takes your peace. Watching how she's lived, it's clear she values peace more. Maybe her disappearance isn't a tragedy after all. Maybe it's her way of winning. Even though she hasn't appeared on screen in over 2 decades, Linda Fiorentino's impact still lingers. Younger actresses like Charlize Theron and Rosamund Pike have cited her work as an inspiration for playing strong, complex women. Film critics still praise her performance in The Last Seduction as one of the most brilliant of the 1990s. Fans continue to post online about missing her, hoping she'll return one day. But even if she never does, her legacy remains. Linda showed that an actress doesn't need constant fame to be unforgettable. She proved that independence has a price, but it also brings freedom. In a world obsessed with visibility, she chose invisibility, and that makes her story both sad and admirable. Maybe Linda Fiorentino didn't disappear. Maybe she just finally became herself. When people talk about Linda Fiorentino, they often describe her as an enigma, beautiful, intelligent, and rebellious. But behind the mystery lies a simple truth. She's a woman who chose her own path. In Hollywood, where image means everything, that kind of honesty is rare. She didn't want to be controlled by studios, producers, or media narratives. She wanted to act, to create, and to live on her own terms. And when that world stopped offering her what she valued, she quietly left. Her story is a reminder that success isn't always about staying in the spotlight. Sometimes it's about knowing when to walk away. Linda Fiorentino's career may have ended too soon, but her courage, talent, and silence have turned her into something far more lasting: a legend. Hollywood has always celebrated strong women on screen, but it has often punished them in real life. Linda Fiorentino didn't just play independent women. She lived like one. She refused to flatter directors or producers to get roles. She didn't flirt with the press or play the media game. That independence, which made her performances so authentic, also made her a challenge for an industry that preferred obedience. Many insiders later admitted that Linda's honesty intimidated people. She didn't like fake compliments, and she never hid her opinions. A studio executive once called her too smart for her own good. For a man, that line might have been a compliment. For a woman in 1990s Hollywood, it was a warning. Linda wasn't interested in being manageable. She wanted respect, not control. And in the long run, that made her dangerous in a system built on power and ego. Her behavior wasn't rebellious. It was principled. When she disagreed with a script or found a scene unnecessary, she said so. When someone crossed a line, she spoke up. Unfortunately, in the film industry of that time, women who spoke their minds were often branded difficult or uncooperative. It's a label that has ended more careers than bad acting ever did. For Linda, it was never about ego. It was about doing the work right. She believed a film should have purpose, not just profit. And when Hollywood stopped giving her projects that felt meaningful, she quietly stepped away rather than compromise. Though her career seems short compared to others, Linda Fiorentino's filmography is filled with unforgettable moments. In The Last Seduction, she created one of cinema's most iconic anti-heroines, a woman who manipulated, seduced, and destroyed men without remorse. Yet instead of playing her like a villain, Linda gave Bridget Gregory intelligence and wit. Viewers didn't just fear her. They admired her. That was Linda's gift. She made even the darkest characters human. In Men in Black, she brought dry humor and grounded energy to a movie filled with chaos and aliens. While Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones carried the laughs, Linda's performance gave the story realism. She was confident without trying to steal the spotlight, something few actors can do. In Dogma, she played Bethany, a woman chosen by God to save humanity. The role allowed her to show a mix of cynicism, warmth, and faith, traits that mirrored her real personality. She didn't just act. She transformed. Many of her co-stars admired her focus. Kevin Smith once described her as serious and precise, someone who knows exactly what she wants from a scene. Paul Newman, who worked with her in Where the Money Is, called her gutsy and smart. Yet despite such praise, Hollywood never fully celebrated her. Maybe because she wasn't easily controlled, or maybe because her intelligence threatened the idea of what a leading lady should be. Whatever the reason, her best performances remained timeless, each one a glimpse into a mind that refused to settle for mediocrity. After leaving Hollywood, Linda Fiorentino entered a world far removed from red carpets and film sets. She began focusing on personal interests, photography, art, and writing. Friends have said she loved capturing simple moments, a child playing, an animal in motion, or the texture of old city walls. Her photography wasn't about glamour. It was about truth, just like her acting. She also became deeply private, rarely attending public events or giving interviews. Those who did speak to her said she was content and grounded, living a quiet life with close friends and family. Some reports suggested she lived in the countryside for a while, enjoying long walks and gardening. She also developed a passion for environmental issues and was said to support local conservation groups. Though she never publicly confirmed these details, they aligned perfectly with the woman she was: thoughtful, passionate, and independent. Her disappearance from Hollywood wasn't an escape. It was a return to herself. It's easy to assume that leaving fame must mean unhappiness, but Linda seemed to find something better: peace. She had already proved her talent. She had seen both the glamour and the ugliness of the industry. And in the end, she chose something that very few stars have the courage to choose: silence. When Hollywood lost Linda Fiorentino, it lost more than just an actress. It lost a voice that represented something rare: authenticity. In an age when image and publicity mattered more than substance, Linda stood for honesty. She showed that beauty could coexist with intelligence, and that women could be powerful without apology. Her performances gave audiences a glimpse of what female